Good evening, everyone. I extend a very warm and hearty welcome to each one of you here. And let's begin with the prayer. May I invite Ms. Kavya of First PG Diploma in Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics for the prayer.
हमको मन की शक्ति देना, मन विजय करे, दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद को जय करे। हमको मन की शक्ति देना, भेद भाव अपने जैसे साफ कर सके, दोस्तों से फूट साफ कर सके, झूठ से बचे रहे, सच कदम भरे, दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद को जय करे। हमको मन की शक्ति देना।
Thank you, Kavya. On behalf of Department of Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics, St. Teresa's College, in association with Indian Dietetic Association, Kerala Chapter, Dept, Nutrition Society of India, Cochin Chapter, Eat Right India, I welcome you all to the Nutrition National Webinar on topic Obesity, Breaking the Barrier. We are privileged to have all the participants on one platform. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. Hope you all have a fruitful session ahead. Now, may I invite Ms. Elizabeth Verghese, Assistant Professor, for the welcome speech.
A very warm namaste to all dignitaries and participants of the national webinar conducted by the Department of Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics, St. Teresa College, Ernakulam, in association with the Indian Dietetic Association, Kerala Chapter, NetProfan, Kochi Chapter, Eat Right India, NSI Kochi Chapter, in connection with the Anti-Obesity Day 2021. Latest report and evidences show an increasing trend for obesity among people of all age groups, including children and adolescents. Obesity brings with it barriers and risks which hinder daily normal and efficient functioning. Keeping these in mind, the Department of Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics, in association with IDA Kerala Chapter, NetProfan Kochi Chapter, NSI, and Eat Right India, is organizing the webinar on the topic Obesity, Breaking the Barriers. Let me at the outset welcome our keynote speaker for the day, Ms. Shilpi Goyal, eminent dietitian and wellness expert. Shilpi ma'am is the convener of IDA Chhattisgarh chapter and the founder of Inspire Wellness. She also serves as the consultant dietitian at Apollo Clinics. We are indeed honored to have such an apt resource person in our midst today. On behalf of all of us present here, I extend a very warm welcome to you, ma'am. I deem it a privilege to welcome Reverend Dr. Sister Vinita CSST, Provincial Superior and Manager, St. Teresa's College, Ernakulam, Reverend Dr. Sister Emmeline CSST, Director, St. Teresa's College, Ernakulam, and our Principal, Dr. Lizzie Matthew. Welcome Ms. Soumya S. Nair, Convener of the Indian Dietetic Association, Kerala Chapter. Welcome, ma'am. Let me now welcome Ms. Anita KP, Secretary, IDA Kerala Chapter. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. I also would like to welcome Ms. Shilpa Chandran, Treasurer, IDA Kerala Chapter. It is a pleasure to have you in our midst, ma'am. With great pleasure, I would like to welcome Mrs. Lekha Srinivas, Women's Studies Center Coordinator, the pillar of support in all our endeavors. Welcome, ma'am. Let me take this opportunity to welcome Mrs. Annie Thomas Totan, Head of the Department of Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics, our leading light in all our endeavors. Welcome, ma'am. I feel privileged to welcome all my dear faculty members and students to this webinar. A warm welcome to all participants from various institutions, academicians, dietitians who have eagerly joined for this webinar in spite of their busy schedules. I hope this webinar enlightens each one of us to go a long way in breaking the barriers created by obesity. Once again, welcome one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Now, let me invite Dr. Priya Pillai, Assistant Professor, to introduce our resource person, Ms. Shilpi Goyal. Priya,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Dr. Samja. Good evening, everybody. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce and welcome today's resource person, Shilpi Goyal, a renowned dietitian with over 10 years of experience offering dietary consultation in clinical and private settings. A positive and enthusiastic person who firmly believes prevention is better than cure. So she consults people to achieve their optimum health goal through balanced diet, nutrition, and lifestyle modification. The energy she imparts to her clients and her inspiring ways has helped her establish her brand Inspire Wellness. Shilpi Goyal is a convener of Indian Dietetic Association Chhattisgarh chapter from 2019-21 and a regular speaker for the Sehat program at INH New Channels. Ma'am has also contributed as corporate and social school nutrition trainer, and she is a regular article contributor to Dainik Bharat, Herbal Health Magazine, and Bilaspur and other print media. Many articles got featured at Raipur Lifestyle magazine. Shilpi Goyal has also won the title of Mrs. Chhattisgarh at Mrs. Ancient Pageant 2017. I welcome again Shilpi Goyal for today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya, ma'am. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our keynote speaker, Ms. Shilpi Goyal. The session is handing over to ma'am. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have such warm welcome from Kerala chapter, and I'm feeling so delightful to be here. Thanks a lot, everyone. Without any delay, as we are already a little late in our schedule, I would request you to kindly share the screen, and we will start the presentation straight.
Sure, ma'am.
So on the occasion of Anti-Obesity Day, we would like to talk on obesity and breaking the barriers which come in our way between, and obesity as it is a major health problem today, and it has link for all the major illnesses, chronic problems. So we need to address the root cause for it and then breaking the barrier for the same. Next slide. So today in our presentation, we'll be seeing what is obesity and link to major chronic conditions, treat the roots and not the symptoms, 4-dimensional approach to deal with obesity, major myths related to diet, breaking the barriers, exercise and its role, mental health and its role, and the way forward. Thank you. Next slide. So when we see what is obesity, we clearly know that obesity is excess of fat in our body that presents a risk to our health. But that doesn't mean that eating fat will lead to fat in our body. There are so many other things which play a role. It's not just excess of calories. It's also the macronutrients composition in our diet, which plays role. And then there are so many other factors which when it is disturbed, then it leads to obesity. When we judge obesity, we say that BMI over 25 is considered overweight and over 30 is obese. And this is not all, because waist circumference is also a major marker for obesity. As we know that we are also called as thin fat Indian. We Indians, even if our weight is normal, then also in our body the fat percentage may come high, and that there is a central fat adiposity and there is a central fat deposition. So our waist circumference will also decide whether the person is obese or not. So it is said that when your waist circumference is more than half of your height in inches, for example, if my height is 5'4", and my height in inches will be 64 inches. So half of 64 is 32 inches. So my waist should not be more than 32 inches. So in general, it is said that for males, it should not be, it should be less than 40 inches. And for females, it should be less than 35 inches. Next slide. We know that obesity is linked with major chronic illness, because when you are overweight or obese, when you have excess weight in your body, there is a slow and firm inflammation which starts in your body, and that is linked with major illnesses, chronic problems, and major health problems like cardiovascular disease such as hypertension and heart disease and stroke. Then there's an insulin resistance in the body. Whenever the person is getting overweight, there's an insulin resistance in the body, and it leads to diabetes in later during the life. And when there are more than this 3 or 4 conditions are present, then there is a overall X syndrome, which we call it metabolic syndrome. Osteoarthritis is also a result of excess of weight. Fatty liver and liver problems may be faced by the person. Some cancers are also linked with obesity: endometrial, ovarian, liver, kidney, gallbladder cancers. And then there are breathing difficulties. And then lots of social and mental stigma is also attached with obesity, and lots of psychological problems. Next slide. So obesity is a major concern today. Why? Because there's such a lifestyle change that we have become so sedentary, and then there is intake of lots of packaged food item, lots of processed item. And the more we are going away from the mother nature, the more we are depending on the packaged and the processed food item for our diet, the more the problem is arising. And moreover, there's a psychological health which also plays very important role, because all the emotions are directly linked with hormones, and hormones then play a major role in deciding your metabolic rate and overall metabolism of your body. So obesity plays, previous slide please. So obesity plays a very major role. So when we see that there's a modern lifestyle which is responsible, or your genetics is responsible, stress, faulty diet, there are it's many things are involved. And then why losing weight is so difficult, and why it is so hard to lose weight. So we'll be talking about this in the course of time today. Next slide. So basically we see that there are 2 major hurdles which everyone faces during weight loss journey. One is that weight loss stops and the plateau come, and then second, it bounces back all the more whatever you have lost. And why it happens? Because there's no consistency and sustainability. And when you go on some fat diet or excessive calorie restriction, or some haphazard thing in between, and then you come, so the reduced weight comes back all over again. So there are 2 problems, and we'll be seeing all this. Next slide. So first thing we need to understand while seeing obesity is that when you see that the person is obese, it's just the tip of the iceberg, because the major problem lies below, and you have to treat the root and not the symptom, not just the symptom. And you have to go to the root cause of each and every aspect of his life, not just the diet, but also his lifestyle, which takes care of his water intake, his mental stability, his rest, his stress, his addictions, his eating speed, the food is exposed to. There are so many other things, socializing and many other things. And addressing the root cause is very, very important. And just making temporary changes will not work, because you need a sustainable action plan. And when you follow it for a longer period of time, overall the discipline is something which will matter a lot. And when there is a discipline, then you are able to resolve this problem. And once you resolve this problem, then you're able to maintaining it a very easy job. But reversing it will take lots of good habits and good efforts from your side. So we know that it's a multi-dimensional approach. Only working on your diet will not be that effective. So diet, of course, plays a very important role. Next slide. So if we see, we can divide the way to treat obesity in 4 different aspects. We can say that there are 4 pillars for treating obesity, or for managing it, or for reversing it. And those 4 pillars are also the pillars of our overall wellness and our overall health. And these four are very, very important. And we as a dietitian, we as a nutrition professionals, as a community, we need to look for this four aspect in any person's diet, in any person's life. First is his diet. Diet plays 70% role in deciding your weight. The second is exercise, the body's movement. And third is mental peace or his emotional health or his mental well-being. And fourth is sleep or rest. These four are the aspects which are majorly, connected with overall health and your obesity. Next slide. So when we talk about diet, whenever we say the word diet, what all comes to your mind? The commonly taken answers has been jotted down here. People say that diet means eating less. People think that diet means eating boring and monotonous food. People think that eating fat will make you fat, which is the biggest myth. Or they go on oil-free diet and lots of, they are taking lots of chapatis and other thing, but that is all without oil. And then they follow some trending diets, fat diet, they follow, GM diet, then any kind of diet, they'll start following random diets provided by their trainers and other people, neighbor next door. And then the weight gets stuck and they develop lots of deficiencies and the food is not proper and the nutrients are not well taken care of. So these things happen when you talk about diet. But diet is much more than that. Next. So when we say diet, again, there are four aspects which we have to consider is what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, and then how to eat. These are the four aspects which we have to take care of any person's life, that what he shall be eating, and when he shall be eating, how much, and then how to eat. So we'll be focusing each one by one. Next slide. When we say what to eat means choosing your food correctly. And we again know that we as an Indian, when we imagine any plate, can you just guess, any one of you can unmute and they can tell us what their plate comprises of? Any one of you wants to share? Yes, Madam Pallavi Chatterjee.
Yes, ma'am. Indian plate mainly comprises of carbohydrates, a lot of carbohydrates it is,
Yeah, yes,
and
correct.
less of protein and less of non-starchy vegetables.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. Anybody else will want to share their views? Yes, ma'am Nandana. Anybody else? So as Pallavi, pointed out rightly that Indian thali is sometimes full of carbs and grains and less of vegetables. Like if we talk about North Indian food, then there's a dhokla, which is just prepared with besan and without any vegetables. And then there are many other stuff which we eat in our breakfast, like idli sambar. If you are taking idli sambar, then less of vegetable in sambar and then idli and just, dal and lots of carbs goes inside, then you have to think that there's lots of grain based approach, then right selection of food is very, very important in your weight, because you know that carbs, taking excessive amount of carbs will give rise to insulin hormone, and insulin is a fat storage hormone. And then the things go like here and there, and you put on lots of weight. So the plate approach comes here in picture, and whenever you explain your clients or any lay person in very simple words, you just have to tell them that they have to imagine a plate and just divide it from half, and half of your plate should be full of vegetable. It can be raw and it can be cooked, or a combination of both. So when such kind of approach, when we replace your half of the plate with your veggies, it automatically takes care of your total calories, and the plate is low in calorie and high in micronutrients and minerals and vitamins. And again, the other half of the plate should again be divided into two parts, and one part should be your protein, which will comprise of your fish, chicken, poultry, eggs, and the pulses, and the other part will be your grains. And primarily we should focus on complex carbohydrate and not the refined carbohydrate. So we have to strictly avoid any kind of bread, biscuits, and maida and pastas and other stuff. And we have to give priority to millets and complex carbohydrate. So if you give this kind of education to a person, and if we follow it in our day-to-day life, I'm sure that it is really a magic plate, magic approach, I should say. And this is a wonder. It does wonder, and the weight, it doesn't let the weight increase, because a layman will not count calories or will not be able to see how much and what should I be eating. They just simply have to replace a lot portion of their appetite. They have to fill up with fiber in the form of vegetables and also fruits. So this will decide the right selection of food. Next slide. So earlier, we were taught this old pyramid, which is on the right hand side. You can see that earlier we used to learn that 70 or 65% of your diet should come from your grains, and then it used to go up, and you can see that this led to lots of obesity increase all over the world. And then this new pyramid came up, and new guideline says that you can see different colors in the pyramid, and it says that your diet should be colorful as rainbow, and it should have ample amount of vegetables, and then there should be movement. You should do, you can see the person walking up the stairs, so there should be a lots of movement in the life. And this new pyramid is focusing on all the points which we just discussed in our my plate approach. So this will give a real understanding on how to deal with the overweight and obesity problem. Next slide. So when we say that how much to eat, if you have to explain in a very simple words to a patient or a client, what do you say that how much you should eat? So let's play a game. Next slide. Okay, so I'm just giving you a simple task. I know every people who are attending this meet are scholars, and they know the answer already. But let us play a game that you can see the 4 items here, and you just have to arrange it in a descending order, like from high calorie to low calorie. You just have to arrange these 4 items, and I won't be giving you much of time. You just quickly do it, and anyone can unmute and tell me about it. You just have to do it very quickly, because the answer is very much clear and obvious. So just have to arrange it in descending order of calories. So if you're done, then just raise your hand, or anyone can just unmute and tell me the answer, please. Yeah, so Dr. Priya ma'am.
Okay, so I feel the highest calorie, the pastries has the highest calorie,
Okay,
and then I will arrange the next one as chapati, and then the sprouts, and then the apple.
Okay, ma'am. Anybody else which will want to try? I am not. I cannot just see the members here, but anyone can unmute, and or you can write in the chat box if you agree with Dr. Priya Pillai, ma'am. Yes, you all agree with her? Yes, you can write yes. You can write Y. Yeah. So do you agree with ma'am? Yes. Yes. Siri. Shishira says yes. Sonal says yes. Sangeeta says yes. Pallavi Chatterjee, yes. Salva, yes. Okay. So many yes. Fida, yes. So, ma'am, everyone is with you. There are lots of yes, and they have raised hands, and Arya and everyone. I think Dr. Nandana Menon and Anaga and Asna and Alvina and Marita Martin. Okay. So this was just a prank, because I would say that the answer is wrong what Dr. Priya Pillai ma'am has given to me, because the answer is no. They all have, more or less equal calorie, because you haven't given attention to the portion size of the items, and that was just to play with your view and mind game. It was a game. So I would say that they all have similar calories. Next slide. They all have near about 500 calories. This game was to show you that if you fill up your stomach with pastry, then you will take 4 times more, because when you eat a pastry, your stomach will not be full and you will require 4 pieces of those. And when you're taking chapatis, then there are 4 chapatis, you will not be able to even have it. And when there are apples, and there are 5 apples, so you will not be able to even have it. So you have to see that how much calorie dense the food is, and then you take the food accordingly. So take light calorie dense food in larger quantity, and bad things in a smaller quantity. This was just a thought provoking thing to give you that idea, that if you fill up your stomach with calorie dense food, then it is going to be bad, very very bad for. So whenever we see that a person is obese or overweight, then his selection of food is wrong. He's filling up his or her stomach with calorie dense food. And which are calorie light food? All vegetables are very very light in calorie. You all know that, we all know that 100 grams of vegetable will give just 40 calories, but 100 grams of grains, 20 grams of grain will give 100 calories. So this is such a huge difference, you can see that. So there has to be, it again comes back to the whole point that there has to be lots of veggies in your plate, in your preparation, in your food. And I have a YouTube channel in the name of Dietitian Shilpi Girl, where we develop lots of recipes with lots of healthy addition and healthy tweaks. So these are very very important, and for each one of us we have to take care that what we are preparing is very very important. So how much time you will take to burn this 500 calories? Yes ma'am, again you, Priya ma'am, how much time you will take to burn this 500 calories? How much exercise, sorry, how much exercise you will require to burn this? Yeah, time though, time though, just how much time and what kind of exercise you will require to burn this 500 calories? So I will give you the answer. Next slide, please. 90 minutes of walk or 45 minutes of jogging, and we don't realize this. We eat everything and we sit the whole day. We find this pleasure of eating a pastry. We find this pleasure of eating a pizza, and we can sit the whole day. We don't burn it off. And when we do 45 minutes of exercise, we expect a lot from from our exercise. We think that, oh, we are doing 45 minutes of exercise every day, now I can eat anything and everything. So too much of expectation from exercise and less attention to diet will lead to failure of achieving the results. I'm sure I'm making it clear to everyone. And to eat this, it doesn't take even a second, maybe a few seconds it requires to eat it. But to burn it, 90 minutes of walk and 45 minutes of jogging, which nobody is doing. So better is to take care of your intake properly, take care of your diet. So we as a dietitian have very important role in educating people, in giving out them the information about health, and educating them well. Next slide. So stay away from the wrong selection of food. Fill up your plate with lots of less calorie, less dense, and lots of water content food, which have lots of water content. Do not avoid calorie dense food. So order of calorie density you should be aware of. Then speed of eating, then multitasking, late night dinner, constant munching, and excessive sedentary behavior. These all are again the reasons for your obesity. Next. Then we come to how to eat. These are very, very simple and quick ways where we can check ourselves. And then I will tell you how to break the barriers, because most of the information even we are aware of, but we are not able to do it. So we will come to the actual point, then how to break the barriers, like how to achieve the goal, how to implement it. The knowledge is there, but the implementation part, why it is poor. So we will come to that later. So how to eat, that speed of eating is very, very important. When you're chewing properly, lots of digestion is taking place in your mouth itself, and then the food is getting assimilated and properly digested, and then the results are better. And if you're not chewing properly, what happens is you tend to overeat, because it takes some time, 20 minutes to get signal to your brain that you are full. So you have to make sure that you are chewing properly, which we are not giving attention to. We are talking, we are multitasking, we are talking, we are seeing the mobile, we are seeing the TV screen, and then we are eating. So we are doing lots of things. So the hunger signal or satiety signal we overlook, and we tend to overeat. So always pay attention that whenever you are eating, you're involving all senses into it. So it is called mindful eating. So mindful eating is very, very important, that you are involving your all senses into food. And every time when you eat, 20 minutes at least you have to give to each meal, and you should sit in a relaxed mood and then eat properly. And since beginning we have been hearing that dietitian says that every 2 hour eating, every 2 hour eating, and people have taken it like every 10 minutes munching. They say, oh my god, dietitian only say that you should not keep your stomach empty. And this message has gone to people so badly that when they wake up, they, out of fear, they start eating. They eat, they begin their day with eating something, and then eating something, then some eating. And they tend to overeat in a whole day. So we have to take care that constant eating is also bad. Constantly munching something is also bad, because every time you eat something, the insulin hormone gets into action, and then it is again fat storage, anabolic hormone, and then your weight gain, weight loss doesn't happen. You have to keep your body in fasting state for some time, and there has to be 3 hours minimum and good gap between two meals. So don't keep on munching and eating every time, and don't be in fear of not having food. You do not have to eat anything when you get up early in the morning. You can be on fasting till your breakfast time, till your body is ready to break your fast. So hydrate yourself when you get up. Your task should be hydrate your body so well that the cleansing phase happens. So the first few hours after waking up is your cleansing phase. So in that cleansing phase, you should not be eating anything. You should be just drinking water and cleanse your body. When your body is cleansed enough, and then you take, preparation for meal. Like you start with some healthy thing and not with a tea biscuit. People are so addicted that they start their day with tea biscuit, which is full of carbs, and then, processed item, biscuit, rusk, whatever you say, whatever you call it, however claim they say that okay, this is healthy biscuit, whole wheat biscuit, whatever this that, but they are all come from packet, and packaged things are dehydrated, so devoid of water, so it's a calorie dense food. So it is very bad thing to begin your day with. So it's a preparation phase. In preparation phase, you can have just nuts, or maybe a fruit to begin your day with. And then your breakfast should be a good meal with lots of healthy fat and protein, less of carbohydrate, or maybe complex carbohydrate can be in the plate. And then there are a lot of veggies should be there, so in the form of salad, maybe vegetable juice, or maybe smoothies, or anything. Like you can stuff lots of veggies in your meal, and then you can have it. So again, how to eat, I just made 3 points clear to you. Next slide. When to eat, again the question comes that when to eat. So it is always advisable that you follow circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm says that you should follow sunrise and sunset timings, and you should have your dinner as early as possible, by 6:37, or maybe any time in after the sunset. Earlier the better. And you should keep 3 hours gap before you sleep. You go to bed, you should keep 3 hours of gap. And you should get up early. You should be early to bed, early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise. You should follow this thing, because this really has an effect. And late night sleep and late night munching is also a bad contributor to your health. And this has proven in science again and again that following circadian rhythm is very, very important for your overall wellness, and also for cure of obesity. And then intermittent fasting, time restricted eating, where we keep a definite gap between two meals, especially, it's a 16 hours fasting and then 8 hours of eating window. It has a very good results because when you're fasting, your growth hormone gets activated, insulin is low, very low during that time, and overall it leads to weight loss and fat loss. So it gives really good results. So it's a way of life. Intermittent fasting, if followed nicely, and if you're balancing your meal within the time frame given, 8 hours, it gives wonderful results. Next slide. And then not drinking enough water is again one of the fundamental mistake which people are doing while neglecting water, again gives rise to obesity. When you neglect water, then your body doesn't get cleansed properly. Water is a detoxifying agent, natural detoxifying agent. And we all know that 70% of our bodies is water, and you have to cleanse that, keep detoxifying it through drinking lots of water. And it also will prevent you from junk eating, or maybe false signal of eating, false signals of hunger. It will take care of those too. And most illnesses and most gut issues like acidity, constipation are just cured by increasing your amount of water. And how much water is enough? It will depend on your body weight. So you can multiply your body weight with 4, and then you can take out the water requirement of your body. Like if my weight is 60 kg, then my water requirement can be anywhere between 2.5 liters. So some places which have warm weather, you can also multiply it with 5. And if you're taking more quantity than this, it's obviously fine, but this is the baseline calculation which is required for anybody depending on their weight. And even if you want to check whether I'm drinking enough water, you can check the color of your urine. If it is very yellow in color, then you're not taking enough water. It should be transparent as like water. So increase your water intake. It is very, very essential. Next slide. Now we come to the main point, which is the crux of everything, that breaking the barrier. Okay, so we know that we have to increase water, we don't have to munch late night, we have to sleep early, and we have to balance our meal properly. We have to take care to eat lots and lots of veggies in our diet, and this and that. And there are a lot of, information which is there all over. And we know as people that, okay, we have to follow it. We have to avoid sweets at any cost, because sweets are like enemy for obesity. Sweets will not give you rest, and your weight will keep on increasing. So avoid sweets at any cost. We know that, but still the things are happening. Still we are in that same trap, and we are not able to follow anything. Why? It happens because we are product, and we are product of our habits. What are habits? Habits are repetitive behavior, and when it becomes automatic, then we are even not aware that we are doing it every day. And breaking the habits and adopting new habits are possible. This is possible with conscious efforts. But forming a habit and making it a habit, making an action a habit, will require certain amount of dedication and repetition. They say that it takes 21 days for an action to become a habit. Then it becomes automatic. Your brain thinks that, okay, this has to happen, and it will perform it automatically. But 5 days, at least 5 to 7 days of conscious effort is required for an action. Repeatedly, you have to do it. Then your mind starts saying that, okay, this person is doing this, so we have to do this again and again. So conscious efforts has to is required for your any good action to become your habit. But you have to work on it. So the first thing is that you are very much committed, but you are very much committed to your habits. So Jesse habit you will form, the same person you will become. So you have to think that whatever I have explained so far, whatever problem you can see in your routine, you have to identify your problems, and then one by one you can adopt good habits. So the December is coming, 2022 is about to start, and on anti-obesity day, I think we can take pledge that we'll work on one by one, we will work on one habit. So they say that there's a rule that you can only work on one habit at a time. You cannot target too many habits at a time. So if you're adopting one habit that, okay, I'll get up early and I'll sleep early, so you have to focus just on that. And after then it becomes automatic. Then you can focus on, I will start exercising. So it doesn't mean that you have to work only on one parameter at a time. You can work on multiple, but focus should be on one, that you are not at any cost you are not living in between. At any cost you are not leaving that particular action in between. If you tend to leave that action in between, then you'll have to start all over again. Like from the day one, you have to count day 1, day 2, day 3, until the time it becomes permanent. 21 days it takes normally, but it forms a habit even much before that. If you are able to leave tea from today, leave tea or maybe leave sugar in the tea from today, then you have to make a conscious effort of following it for a few days, and then it will become automatic. It's just like when you learn any skill or any like vehicle, car, you become very conscious while driving, but later it becomes automatic. So you'll have to just work one by one, and you have to break the barriers, because everything is possible. And the good news is that habits are reversible. You can keep on adopting new habits, good habits. So this way the people becomes transformed person. So transformation is possible, but we have to give conscious attention towards it and keep following it. What happens, the people becomes impatient, they don't see results, they become impatient, they become frustrated, and in between they leave everything and they jump back to their previous habits. So consistency will be required. So we say that minimum 21 days for one habit, and consistently when you follow, then the results are bound to come, rewards are bound to come. And in my clinic, we are working closely on this, and we are seeing good results, very good results. We are seeing transformations happening, 40 kg weight reduction and this and that. You just have to make person happy about himself or herself. The self-esteem, self-confidence goes up, and the person is able to do wonders. So everything is possible. So you just need to pay little focus on attention on your habits. Next slide. So for example, if you just try to reduce sugar in the tea, and 1 teaspoon extra sugar, if you try to reduce, see so much of reward will happen. See how the simple calculation given, that 1 teaspoon of sugar is 5 gram of carbohydrate. I think everybody will agree. And 5 gram of carbohydrate will give 20 calories, and 20 calories multiplied with 365 days a year means 7,000 calories you are going to create deficit, and 7,000 calories equal to 1 kg of fat. So you will avoid putting on 1 kg of fat just by taking a resolution of reducing 1 teaspoon sugar from your tea extra. Whatever extra sugar you are taking, you just take a resolution of reducing 1 teaspoon sugar, then you will prevent yourself from gaining 1 kg of fat in a year. Because in a year you are putting on 1 kg of fat. So this is how the things go. So boond boond se ghada bharta hai, we say that thoda thoda bhi, it will give a good impact and good results in long run. Next. So exercise. So first thing which I would like to say is people overrate exercise. Whenever they are putting on weight, or they are obese, or they are getting fatter day by day, or overweight, they say that, okay, start doing exercise. Without paying attention to diet, they say start walking, start jogging, and you will lose weight. It doesn't happen. I told you that 70% is diet's role, and the 30% is other lifestyle modifications role. So exercise will decide the shape of your body, but diet will decide the weight of your body. So exercise is very good, very essential, because when you exercise, your body energizes, your body put on muscles, and the more the muscles, the more metabolism active you are, the BMR goes up, because it's always muscle to fat ratio of your body. So you have higher metabolic rate, then you tend to burn more calories. So but when you exercise, you have to follow proper protocol. You just can't walk and talk. You just can't do leisure exercise and then you say that I'm exercising. Some people say I'm active throughout the day, so I'm exercising. I don't require to exercise separately. But this doesn't mean, because exercise has a standard protocol that you have to get warm up your body, then do thorough exercise, and then cooling down. So until and unless this all 3 steps happen together, it will not give any effect. So your body has to get warmed up, and then thorough fat cutting period, and then the cool down period. So you have to challenge your body. You have to do it out of your comfort zone, because doing it in comfort zone, body will soon get adapted, and there will not be any effect on your body. So there are 3 categories of people. One who exercise, and then they are not active throughout the day. Even this is not desirable, that you are doing exercise and then you think that the whole day I will just sit and relax because I have done what needed to be done. But the whole day's activeness is also essential. Many of people go to gym, but they will not use staircases. They will use lift and they will reach gym. So this kind of practices should be avoidable, because being active throughout the day is also very important. It decides, that how much the person is lazy or lethargic, the weight loss will not happen. And you have to limit your screen time and sedentary time. When you're sitting all the day on the desk, you have to make sure that you move some in some time, because you keep on moving in 5 minutes, 10 minutes walk, deliberate walk you should do. And for that, the best practice is that you drink water and then you go to washroom. So and whenever you go to washroom, you again drink a glass of water for the next round of washroom. So that's the best practice which I find. And movement is very, very needed, and you should be active throughout the day. It's not just that gym will help or exercise will help, but I would just say that the best exercise for weight reduction or to deal with obesity is strength training exercises and anti-gravity exercises. Whenever you are going against gravity, like many yoga poses, we are going against gravity, we are lifting weight, then it is most effective in dealing with obesity or diabetes or PCOD or any problems. Next slide. Next slide. Then comes the third parameter or third vertical of wellness, which is sleep. And we all know that the sleep is the most compromised one in today's life. We are waking up late till night. We are ignoring sleep. We are not giving proper respect to our sleep. Whereas we know that sleep is the time when our body heals, our body repairs. So lots of repair takes place during sleep. And the quality of sleep is also important, because we are all the day, we are so stressed, we are taking lots and lots of thoughts in our mind, and we are not closing those thoughts, and those thoughts keep coming in our mind, and we are not able to have a quality sleep. So for that, relaxation and meditation will work. So before sleep, you have to follow a practice of relaxing your mind, closing down all the windows and programs which were there in your mind, and then staying away from gadgets. Because what happens is that whenever you are exposed to a lot of light, your melatonin hormone, which is a light sensitive hormone, gets affected, and then your sleep get disturbed. Many people complain that I'm not getting proper sleep in the night. That's because your melatonin hormone, which was a light sensitive hormone, it got affected due to overexposure of mobile phone and TV screens. So take care that during night you should stay away from gadgets 1 hour at least before you sleep. Next slide. And last but not the least is mental peace. The way you see the world and the attitude you form about yourself and the people around you will decide your action, and action will become your habit, and habit will become your behavior, and then behavior will decide your outcomes, health outcomes. So mental peace is very, very important, because mental peace will affect your hormones, and hormones in general will affect your health. And lots of health problems are now termed as psychosomatic illness. We say that alopecia, diabetes, and so many other illness have somewhere psychological problems as their cause. So they are also termed as psychosomatic illnesses. So we have to think that mental peace is very, very important. So accepting things as it is, accepting the situation, accepting the people as it is, will reduce the kind of expectation we have from them. And in general, it will increase our mental peace and our happiness. And when you are happy, you are at mental peace, you are ready to give it to others. When you don't have it, you can't spread the happiness. So you have to fill it in yourself, and then you can spread it all over the place. Next. So in at the last, I would just say that there cannot be any shortcut to good health. It's through your conscious choice and decision. Today, when you are getting aware of so many things, you just pick up one thing, bring a change, adopt it thoroughly, make it your habit. And if you can work just on 5 habits in a year, or maybe 6 habits in a year, it's more than sufficient to transform you to a complete different human being. But people expect quicker result and they want fast results. And the habits, you are product of your habits, and habits do not change overnight. You have to, when you have followed it for so long, then you have to reverse it. For reversing it, in fact, you have to follow it for a substantial amount of time. So just wake up before it's too late, and let us come together to form a medicine free society. I am working on it. My core vision and core mission is building up a medicine free society. So I always believe that prevention is always better than cure. So I help people in such a way that they don't land up in hospitals, and we bring them back to normal living by giving them advices on their lifestyle and diet modification. We put them on total natural and plant-based diet, which has lots of vegetable and good fats and nuts and seeds in their diet, and good quality protein. And changing age-old habit will require time, efforts, and willpower and commitment, of course, and which every one of us have it, because we have awareness that we have to change it. So focus just on one habit at a time. And if you can take care of your body, you do not need any medicines. So with this happy note, I wish you very all the best, and my best wishes for Anti-Obesity Day. Thanks a lot for patience listening, and thanks a lot for inviting me here on this forum. I really am so glad to be a part of your group today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the wonderful and enlightening session, ma'am. Now the participants can clear their doubts. You can either directly ask the question by unmuting the mic, or you can put it in the chat box.
Okay, so I can see one question here. Can you suggest some meal replacement for dinner which can be given to people who are frequent travelers? Ma'am, can you suggest some natural fat burners? Okay, so for Neetha's question, we are aware that the Nestle's OptiFast comes. So Nestle company has a product, a meal replacer, which is termed as named as OptiFast. You can check that out. So this can be one product which can be given to people who are traveling frequently as a meal replacer. And again, some simple guideline will also take care of their problem, because whenever they go, they stay in a hotel. Even for a natural guideline like increasing veggies with all your meals, having a good quality protein in their meals will also solve their problems. And some natural nuts and peanuts and other things also they can keep for their evening munchies and all. Natural fat burners, I'm not sure what do you mean by fat burners, because I feel that nothing will burn your fat except your own efforts of eating right and exercising right. So I'm not sure of that. Can you please explain the water requirement per day? Yes, we talked about it, that it will depend on your weight. So whatever is your weight, you just multiply with 4. And if you are staying in a very hot climate and a hot place, you multiply it with 5. And that is your base level water requirement, except the people with kidney and other diseases. Then there's a question that following intermittent fasting for a long period, is there any chances of causing health issues? Yes. If the person is following intermittent fasting, he or she has to be even more careful about what they're eating in that 8 hours of window. If they're not taking balanced diet during that time, then they may have some health issues. But except that, if you're taking a balanced diet during that 8 hours of window, it gives absolutely good results on their acidity level, on their sugar levels, and on obesity. So can you explain, ma'am, can you suggest tips for weight management after desired weight loss is achieved? Okay. So the way weight loss is more stricter, weight management can be little liberal, but the fundamental remains the same. You have to balance, sometimes you can say that during weight reduction, you were giving 100% and now you can go 80-20 rule. 80% time of discipline and 20% time of getting off track, but again come back on track. So when 80% time you are on track, then body doesn't react. So for maintenance, you can follow the 80-20 rule. If my weight is 50 kg, I require 200 water. No, not 200 ml. It's 400 ml into your body weight. So it will come, it's 2 liters of water. So you have to multiply 400 ml. I just told you 4, that was wrong. It is 400 ml of water per kg body weight. So 400 ml. So that will come approximately 2 liters of water. Thank you very much. Garcinia cambogia safe for weight loss? Yes. There are many studies about this herb, Garcinia cambogia, and I don't give it to my patients. I don't much supplement. I don't use many supplements. So I'm not giving it to my patients. But yes, they have the research on that. So it works. Ma'am, is veganism good for obesity? I don't find any extreme approach like leaving milk product completely. I don't find it suitable right now. So what I'm doing is I'm allowing them curd as a probiotic, and for vegetarians, of course, giving them occasionally paneer. Also, I feel that it is necessary because for vegetarian, then there is no source of very good quality protein. Although I'm not very keen on giving them milk very much because it has lactose in it, and so I will prefer giving them paneer in some form, and then curd is of course there. Curd has to be there compulsorily, but I'm not giving them vegan diet for weight loss. And people who follow vegan diet, they say that weight loss is happening, and they have to have some good source of protein in their diet. But I'm not following any approach, any such extreme approach. I'm not in favor of that. Can you explain about having sugar-free cookies, etc., while dieting? So, okay. So there are many cookies available. You have to just check and don't get misled with what is written on the label, because sometimes you know what, you will take sugar-free cookies, but then there are a lot of grains which also contains carbohydrates. So don't get misled with that, because when you're taking grains, it also will give sugar spike. So sometimes there are almond and coconut cookies which are made up of purely nuts, and then they are adding stevia to it. I am not in favor of artificial sweeteners, but I do recommend little bit of stevia for satisfying the cravings, which are people who are very much sweet addict. So such nuts and stevia combination cookies you may prescribe. What is the best diet? We suggest either keto or intermittent. Both can go hand in hand, but keto again is an extreme approach. I told you that I don't believe in very extreme approach. We go in balanced diet approach. So it can be low calorie, high fat diet, balanced diet with intermittent fasting. Yes, of course. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. We have shared a feedback form. So the registered participants can fill the form for availing your e-certificate. Now, may I invite Ms. Namita Pristina Joseph for delivering the vote of thanks.
A very good evening to all. It's an honor to express my gratitude to all who are present here for this national webinar on obesity, breaking the barriers, organized by the Department of Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics in association with Indian Dietetic Association Kerala Chapter, NetProfan, NSI Kochi Chapter, and Eat Right India. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for His blessings, which made this event possible amidst the prevailing circumstances of uncertainty and distress. I pay due respect and gratitude to Reverend Dr. Sister Vinita, Provincial Superior Manager, CSST, for being the endless support for all our activities to make them successful. Thank you, Sister. I'm expressing my sincere gratitude to Sister Emlyn, Director, St. Teresa's College, for her boundless support for each and every activities of our department. I'm extremely thankful to Dr. Lizzie Matthew, Principal, St. Teresa's College, who always stands by us for materializing all our activities, for materializing all our ideas into reality. Thank you, ma'am. I extend my profound sense of gratitude to our honorable chief guest, Ms. Shilpa Goel, for taking out time from a busy schedule to share her expertise with us. The session helped gain insights on the topic. Thank you very much, ma'am. Let me express my heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Soumya S. Nair, Convener IDEA Kerala Chapter, Ms. Anita Kipi, Secretary IDEA Kerala Chapter, and Ms. Silpa Chandran, Treasurer IDEA Kerala Chapter. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion with your presence. I extend my sincere thanks to Ms. Lega Srinivas, Women's Studies Center Coordinator, for being the pillar of support and going the extra mile to keep WSC in the remarkable position in this prestigious institution. Thank you, ma'am. I place on record of heartfelt thanks to Ms. Annie Thomas Thornton, Head of the Department, Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics, for all her tireless efforts to make all our ventures successful. I must thank the organizing team, volunteers, for working hard for the past few days to make this webinar successful. I thank sincerely all who have joined with us today. Your presence and support means a lot to us. Thank you. Thank you everyone once again for making it a great success. Thank you.